What's up, guys? Benny. It's fair to say that this is one of the single greatest and most glorious news cycles of my life. I am so very happy to be playing a small note in all of this. Our interview with Brendan Carr going viral yesterday when he says we could do this the easy way or the hard way, and now a livid Jimmy Kimmel freaking out, shrieking, and spotted leaving their ABC studio. They were ready to do a show. They were about to go do the show. Apparently the celebrities were all booked and were all ready to go live last night when ABC said, ah. But what's more interesting is, did they use a body double in order to trick people into thinking that Jimmy Kimmel had left the studio so nobody could get an actual shot of him leaving his dingy studio in downtown LA in a very, very horrible and disastrous complete ghost town of Hollywood Boulevard? Have you been there lately? I mean, it's really bad. The Jimmy Kimmel show sidekick seen raging and getting into his car. His name's Guillermo Rodriguez, spotted moments after ABC yanked the program following backlash. Kimmel rushed to a black Chevy Silverado outside of El Capitan Entertainment Center in Los Angeles Wednesday, shortly after receiving the news that his show was getting the boot. The comedian clutched his backpack and an assistant helped him climb into the vehicle. Images obtained by the Post say. So this is allegedly him. But it's kind of interesting because, well, there's other footage, real footage of Jimmy Kimmel leaving. Kind of makes you wonder, wait a second, did they use a body double for Jimmy Kimmel? Watch
News
this.
Tonight, ABC is pulling Jimmy Kimmel live indefinitely. The decision to pull the late night show comes after Kimmel's comments during his monologue on Monday night about the man accused of killing Charlie Kirk. Tonight, President Trump praised the move by ABC to pull Kimmel from the air. NBC4's Robert Kovacic live right now in Hollywood, where Jimmy Kimmel just left the El Capitan Theater. Robert.
Colleen, it is busy out here in Hollywood tonight. It's always busy in Hollywood. Right now, we've got a premiere on one side of the street, outside of the Chinese Theater, and here outside of Jimmy Kimmel Live, a protest is just starting to form here with people demanding the return of Jimmy Kimmel. It has been, again, a pretty chaotic couple of hours here in the front and the back of the studio where it is filmed. But at 6:19 this evening, as we show you this video, NBC captured Jimmy Kimmel leaving Jimmy Kimmel Live, and the studio's here. This is the Jimmy Kimmel Live show, the only late night West Coast show. And here it is, Jimmy Kimmel leaving this evening. We believe that is his wife as well, leaving with him Molly. And the two of them then took off. And just about 45 minutes before that, we also saw Guillermo, his sidekick on the show, who I actually spent some time with recently at the Emmy Awards just days ago. He was in great spirits. Guillermo also leaving the premises. So the indications here were, Colleen, when we got here, we just didn't know how long they had been inside of these studios when they actually learned that the show had been put on hold. Okay.
All right, got it. Okay, so you got it. So you can see a very mysterious, you can barely see him, but they say that this is Jimmy Kimmel getting into a vehicle. Now, what's interesting about all this, and what I find just kind of funny about the curiosity of a moment like this, is that according to TMZ, that's not the real footage of Jimmy Kimmel. That was a decoy. Watch this. Jimmy Kimmel caught on camera dashing into his SUV. Suspension for Charlie Kirk comments. Jimmy Kimmel is getting out of a Dodge as he is suspended by ABC. We captured him bolting to his vehicle. TMZ shot the video of an embattled late night host rushing into a Chevy Silverado, not an electric vehicle. The other guy was getting into a Rivian. Wednesday night, check out the footage. Jimmy, dressed around in a flannel shirt, jeans and sneakers and baseball cap, dashes into the backseat of an SUV to help his handler, with the help of his handler. This is hours earlier when ABC announced the cancellation of his show. So here's how Fox News is putting it. They're saying off air, Jimmy Kimmel was spotted leaving the studio in a decoy vehicle from a parking garage after ABC indefinitely pulled the plug on his show. Here's that clip, ladies and gentlemen. Did You can see there, that is clearly that is Jimmy Kimmel getting into the back of a truck, it looks like, right? Back of a truck, something maybe you wouldn't expect him in. And here's his sidekick also getting, into his car. You've seen this. So what? So they faked out the media with the Rivian, with the electric vehicle. So they virtue signaled and faked out the media. Isn't that great? What a loser. Jimmy Kimmel spotted fleeing in Decoy car after ABC suspended him. This is so funny. So they set up a fake Jimmy Kimmel to go out into a real car, into like the Rivian, right? I mean, they're saying that this was Jimmy Kimmel right here. Where's he going? I mean, you can't really see his face anyway. So and then they drive this past the media. So is this like get media to stop asking questions or looking? And that's again a electric vehicle, a Rivian car. I don't know. It's curious. It's funny. Jimmy Kimmel spotted using fake vehicle while leaving studios. Indefinite suspension. Out of sight. Jimmy Kimmel making a sneak out of his getaway car in a hidden parking deck after ABC yanked his show. And did a Jimmy Kimmel body double out to the media? Okay. Sneaking away, huh? Jimmy Kimmel leaving his studio in Decoy vehicle. Just a pickup truck. Don't worry, it's not Jimmy Kimmel in here. Well. Look at how the mighty have fallen. Escape plan. Cameras catch Jimmy Kimmel leaving studio in Decoy vehicle, suspended indefinitely after cracking wise about Charlie Kirk. Indefinite suspension. Now Jimmy Kimmel staff reeling. Jimmy Kimmel staff were shocked. ABC pulling the late night show because of the host comments about Charlie Kirk. A source with knowledge of the events told the Kimmel staff members they were working as usual on Wednesday afternoon, holding calls, talent, publicists regarding upcoming episodes, and so on, when the decision was announced. CNN noted that ABC staffers were also stunned by the move, considering Kimmel's show has been a staple of ABC. We're all shell-shocked. Well, maybe you shouldn't have been making fun of Charlie Kirk and his assassination. It's like amazing. They're trying to like have it both ways. Barack Obama's wife called for Roseanne, also on ABC, a much more successful show than Jimmy Kimmel's, to be canceled. Barack Obama's now mewling about free speech. Remember when you and your wife called Bob Iger to have me fired, says Roseanne? Yeah. Sinclair is now demanding that Jimmy Kimmel make a direct apology and donate to Turning Point USA. Systematically killing free speech, says Greg Gutfeld, quoting like generic CNN yapper 62147, right? Total irrelevancy. Said a week after Lestif systematically killed Charlie Kirk, a crime Kimmel deliberately and misleadingly blamed on Kirk's allies and friends. Her blind spot is so big, Stelter's fat ass could walk right through it without scraping the walls. Goodness. No blind spot for President Trump, who answered the question pretty succinctly on Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel was fired because he had bad ratings, and more than anything else, is a horrible thing. He said a horrible thing about a great gentleman, Charlie Kirk. That's exactly what New York Post reporting is. The real reason Jimmy Kimmel has been fired. This threatens to derail ABC News broadcast affiliates who are trying to take over, trying to do deals, right? Everyone's trying to do a deal. This is an already controversial deal that consolidates local ownership of local TV news station. It's before the FCC. And Brendan Carr went beast mode on our show. And Bob Iger suspended the show indefinitely. Brendan Carr said, you are going to face an investigation by the FCC because of what you've said on your airwaves. You have special broadcast license and special responsibilities on ABC News. We talked about this a lot. Carr is a longtime telecom lawyer, so he knows this kind of stuff. Well. It also canceled the late night show in the money-losing and politically charged comic Stephen Colbert. ABC was forking over $16 million to settle a lawsuit with President Trump already. The FCC has the authority to throttle content that airs on public airwaves, local TV networks, by withholding broadcast licenses. See that? In the past, the FCC has given wide latitude to broadcasters to air anything except obscenities. This is why people like Stephen Colbert and Kimmel even allege straight news broadcasts like 60 Minutes could get away with left-wing commentary despite swaths of the country hating it. Wouldn't it be wise to start enforcing these rules? Yeah, it sure would be. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Here's President Trump signing off on it. Rings like a bell. There you go.
Well, Jimmy Kimmel was fired because he had bad ratings more than anything else, and he said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk. And Jimmy Kimmel is not a talented person. He had very bad ratings, and they should have fired him a long time ago. So, you can call that free speech or not. He was fired for lack of talent.